Hello everyone, welcome to Detachment 400's tour video. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy. I'm Cadet Logan Stein. I'll be showing you around the building today. Let's get started. As you enter the building, you come onto the main level here. Air Force ROTC has the main level in the upstairs, and Army ROTC occupies the basement. If you come over here, this is our NCO's office, Tech Sergeant Bovin. He is a great resource for anything that you need in the program. He helps us do all of our paperwork. He sets up a lot of our stipends and our tuitions, so he's a very good resource to have at the detachment. Down the hallway over here, we have our captain's office, Captain Chrisman. She just got in here within the past week to Detachment 400. She'll become our new operations flight commander and our recruiting flight commander and help with the operations of the detachment. Across the hallway from her is our secretary in our commander's office, Karma Kipolos. She's a great resource to have on campus. She knows a lot about MTU's campus and has a lot of connections. And then Lieutenant Colonel John O'Kane is our commander here. This is actually his last year here, so next year, if you're thinking about joining the program, you will have a brand new commander. Later on in the video, I'll explain all the training sessions that we have. And one of those training sessions occurs every Tuesday from 4 to 6, so we call it our leadership laboratory. That takes place in our ROTC gym right over here. As you can see, this gym is fairly unique, and it was one of the first buildings that was built on campus. It used to be the gym for the entire university, as you can tell by the basketball floors and the wooden track that goes around the top. In the gym for our leadership laboratory, we pull down the projector screen. We have a slideshow for briefings. We'll set up chairs and everything. So we'll have all 80 to 90 cadets in here at once, learning how to be a leader and a good follower. If you come over here, this is our uniform custodian, Robin Dillinger. That's her office. She keeps all of our uniform supplies in there, and we are one of the few detachments in the nation that does have a uniform custodian at the detachment. Most other detachments have to send out their uniforms to get tailored to them by a third-party service, and here we have someone in-house that does that for us. So across the hall from our gym is our first classroom that is known as the conference room here at our detachment. This is where all of our third and fourth year students take their AS classes and most of their leadership instruction. This room back in the day was known as the clubhouse here at the university. This is where a lot of students came to read books, do homework, and just hang out and get out of the frigid weather. In recent years, we spent a lot of money restoring this room to what it originally was. As you can see, our fireplace is restored, all the wood moldings in here is restored, and we take a lot of pride in the history that this building holds because that is what makes our detachment unique. So as you leave our conference room and come up the stairs, we have a few pieces of warrior knowledge on the walls. One of them is our chain of command, all the way from our commander here at Detachment 400 up to President Donald Trump. And then on this wall is the Airman's Creed, and this is just two things of warrior knowledge that our AS-200s have to memorize before going out to field training. So as you come up the stairs and down the hallway, this is our second classroom. This is where the 100s and 200s, so our first and second years, are taught. This is where they take all of their Air Force classes, and in the back of this classroom is where our 200s are taught field training skills. We properly teach them how to fold a bed, how to make your hospital corners, make sure it's all perfect. We teach them how to hang their uniforms in the wardrobe and how to space them out. And then we also teach them how to roll their t-shirts, their socks, and their towels and put them in their wardrobe, in their dresser right there. Behind our wardrobe is our armory. This is where we keep all of our drill rifles, our paintball guns, all of our extra supplies that we use for our extracurricular activities here at Detachment 400. So also on the second floor is our CAO, which is also known as our Cadet Lounge. We are very lucky to have a Cadet Lounge here at Detachment 400, as many other detachments do not have something like this for their cadets. So when you come in here, we got a nice big open space, a couple of couches, big screen TV on the wall there so you can watch some Netflix. Over here we have our flight simulator. We spent a lot of time and money into making this a few years ago. It's still in the process, but you can hop on here, fly some of the simulators, and get a good feel of what it's like to fly an airplane. So also in here we have a printer, all of our computers, so you can do your homework in here. And then as we move this way, we have what we call our snack bar, and then our cadet mailboxes along with a pool table. So we got a snack bar that constantly has food in it throughout the day. We got a popcorn machine that always has popcorn in it, and a fridge that is almost always stocked. So this is just a great resource to have in between your classes, so you don't have to go to the library. You have a place to go here and meet with other cadets, do homework, hang out in between classes, or even like on the weekends when you're bored and just need something to do. So that concludes our tour of the building. Our next segment in this video are going to be interviews with a few of my fellow cadets. And then after that, I'll be explaining more further details and giving more information about a program such as scholarships, our standards here, and how do you apply here at Detachment 400.
Hi, my name is Corey Patrick. I'm a fourth-year mechanical engineering student in Air Force ROTC. Currently this semester, my position is the upperclassman or professional officer course training. So my job is to train all the lessons and teach the lessons for the upperclassmen in ROTC to further leadership skills.
Hello, I'm Noah Hart. I'm a fifth-year mechanical engineering student at Michigan Tech. My job within Air Force ROTC is to work closely with cadre on special projects.
I'm Mallory Fisher. I'm a fourth-year environmental engineering student, and my job in the cadet wing is the cadet inspector general. So what I do is make sure that we maintain standardization and follow all the standards set by the Air Force.
Hi, I'm Cadet Strauss, and I'm a fourth-year mechanical engineering student at Michigan Tech. My position within the cadet wing is a 100 trainer, meaning that I work with the freshman cadets to help instill Air Force values and baseline professionalism.
So the reason why I wanted to join the Air Force is because my entire family has been in the Air Force going back a couple generations. And so I wanted to give back to my country and be able to serve while being able to also get a degree. So it's kind of a two birds with one stone kind of deal.
So the reason I wanted to join the Air Force was originally to become an astronaut. There's two general paths to becoming an astronaut. You either go be a pilot in the Air Force, or you get really smart and you get a couple PhDs. And being a pilot in the Air Force sounds a lot more fun.
I joined Air Force ROTC because I was introduced to it in high school through Civil Air Patrol, and they presented it as an opportunity to earn a commission in the Air Force while also earning a degree.
I joined ROTC as a means of helping me pay for college, and because I really enjoyed the idea of having a secure job coming out of university.
My favorite thing about ROTC so far is all the extracurriculars that you get to do. So such as we do paintball in the woods, which is really, really fun. We've gone on base visits down to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, but probably my most favorite thing about ROTC is being able to watch myself and my classmates grow and see our leadership potential blossom into something that's going to be really promising when we join the Air Force.
One of my favorite things about this program is its ability to create competitive candidates go up for competitive training opportunities nationally. For example, I was fashioned into a competitive candidate to go to the academy for part of a summer to learn some civil engineering techniques.
My favorite thing about this detachment is that it feels like we have almost a family, especially since most of us are so far away from home, that we have a support system here within the cadet wing.
Definitely my favorite thing about this detachment is that even though it's continued to grow in my time here, it still definitely maintains a small cadet feel where every cadet kind of knows every other cadet and knows how best to support each other.
So one of the things that I've always wanted to do in the Air Force is fly. And recently I was selected for a remotely piloted aircraft slot in the Air Force, and I couldn't be more excited. I think drones are the future of the Air Force, and it's really exciting to be a part of that future.
As I mentioned, being a pilot is one of the career paths to becoming an astronaut. And I was fortunate enough to be selected as a pilot within the last year. However, I've also, through ROTC, come to appreciate and, grow excited for, intel field or career fields such as intel, space operations, or even developmental engineers, because they do a lot of cool stuff. And I would have been just as happy being one of those career fields as I am being a pilot.
My ideal career field is a bioenvironmental engineer. In that field, I would get to work similar to the way environmental health and safety works in the corporate world, and that would allow me an opportunity to use the degree that I've worked so hard to get while I'm here.
So when I joined ROTC, I had wanted to be a pilot and fly. However, during my sophomore year, I met an Air Force doctor that really inspired me, and since then, I've been pursuing a medical career in the Air Force.
So one of the great opportunities that ROTC provides you with is networking. You're able to meet lots of cadets from all across the country, and even within, even with your state if you've never met before. Through ROTC, there is the Arnold Air Society, which gives host to things like the National Conclave, where upwards of 1,000 cadets from all across the country meet together to host a conference.
So I've been fortunate enough to have multiple opportunities throughout Air Force ROTC. First off, I learned some Russian down at University of North Georgia. That was a program over my first summer. I went to field training. I also had the opportunity, as I mentioned before, to go out to the Air Force Academy and do some civil engineering stuff, some hands-on work out there, and that was a lot of fun. Also through Arnold Air Society, I've had the opportunity to lead and be part of multiple regional and national level teams to organize various events, conferences, and other things.
Some of the opportunities that I've really enjoyed since I've been a part of ROTC is the opportunity to become more confident when presenting in front of groups and working with teams of people. I've also made some of my best friends here in ROTC.
Probably the greatest opportunity that ROTC gave me was the opportunity to study Russian as part of a international initiative overseas. I was able to head to Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan to study both Russian 1 and Russian 2 over summer.
I would suggest ROTC at Detachment 400 for those individuals who want to serve in the military while also getting a degree. This is a great two birds with one stone combination. You could have the potential to get all of your college paid for.
There are a lot of reasons why you should join Det 400, but I think some of the biggest ones are Michigan Tech is a really, really good school, particularly in the STEM fields and particularly within engineering. Also, if you're really big into the outdoors, there is a huge outdoors community here. You wouldn't believe it. There's hundreds of square miles around this campus. Much of it, accessible via only trails or 2-track, and you really have to have that adventurous spirit to go, find some waterfalls or go hike a mountain or go, have lunch on top of a cliff or something. But there's just so much to do, and I haven't even come close to scratching the surface in my 5 years here.
You should join Det 400 because here we have great support for academics and for life in general. Also, you can make some great friends and build relationships that will last a lifetime.
Definitely my favorite part about being a cadet at Det 400 is the myriad of opportunities available to me, not only as a cadet within the detachment, but a student at Michigan Tech. Within the detachment, you have things like Arnold Air, drill team, and at the school, you have plenty of student orgs, no matter what you're interested in.
Hello everyone, this is Cadet Stein again. I'm going to give you some AFROTC information. So a quick overview, we'll be going over the program requirements, a program summary, scholarships that you can receive, career fields that you can go into after college, your commitment to the Air Force after college, and some Det 400 specifics with a summary and contact information at the end. So entry requirements as a GMC, that stands for General Military Course, and you are a GMC for your first and second year of the program. So you have to be a sole U.S. citizen, if on scholarship, good physical condition, good moral character, and the age requirement is 14 years old for ROTC, and you have to be 17 years old to receive a scholarship. You have to be committed to attending all of your Air Force classes, your leadership laboratory, and PT. And I'll go on to explain what those all are later. So here's just a look at our physical requirements. This can be found on Google. This is for the fitness tests for males under the 30 years old. And most of our cadets at our detachment average a 95 to a 96. So you can go through, do the math, see what you have to get on your push-ups and sit-ups. It's usually maxing your push-ups and sit-ups, and then getting under like a 10.5 to 11 minute mile and a half. So this is the same scoring for the females, just some adjusted values. So for the program summary, you come in as a freshman and you'll have an Air Force class that is 1 credit a week. So you're going to Air Force class 1 time a week for 1 hour. And then you have your lead lab, which is every Tuesday from 4 to 6. And then you have your PT, which is also held every Tuesday, Thursday from 6 to 7 in the morning. So as a freshman, you are only having about 4 hours of military time each week. So that continues on as a sophomore, as your credit load does not go up and you still PT twice a week. In between your freshman and sophomore year, we have a lot of programs called PDTs that allow you to go to the Air Force Academy, go do jump school, go fly some gliders, or you can go and tour like different Air Force bases for 2 to 3 weeks during your summer, just to meet other cadets, meet officers, and get your questions answered. So in between your sophomore and your junior year is what we call field training. This is also known kind of as like a miniature like basic training that you go to. It's about right now 13 days long, and it's pretty much you go down to Maxwell, Alabama, and they just put you under a stressful environment and see how you react as a leader and as a follower. And then you'll come back from field training and you'll be known as a POC, and that stands for Professional Officer Course. You're a POC for the rest of your time at the detachment and at the university. As a POC, your Air Force classes go to 3 credits, so that will be 3 1-hour classes a week, and then you still have your lead lab every Tuesday from 4 to 6, and then you still PT with the rest of the wing every Tuesday, Thursday from 6 to 7. And then that carries on to your senior year and then your 5th year, into your 5th year. And then, so currently I'm a 5th year in the program, and as a 5th year, you do not take an Air Force class because the curriculum is set up for a 4-year program. So you'll have 3 hours less Air Force a week as a 5th year cadet. And then, of course, in between your junior and your senior and extended year, you can take these optional summer programs. And again, they include like going down to the academy, doing jump school, doing SOAR. We have a lot of like Project Goes where you can like go over to like a different country and learn their language. You can go study at like Air Force research laboratories. There's just so many different programs that we have, and it will take me a long time to explain them all. A lot of them you can look up online too if you're interested. So then after you graduate, you will commission as a second lieutenant over here and go into a hopefully desired career field that you want. So some basic scholarship information. As a junior watching this video right now, next year you can apply for the high school scholarship program. This must be submitted by, I believe, January of your senior year of high school. So you're going to want to start it 3 to 4 months in advance because it's a lot of paperwork. You have to go meet a detachment commander, have to go get a physical, and it's just start it early, trust me. For this, you have to have a high school GPA of 3.0 or better. You have to have at least a 26 on your ACT or a 1240 on your SAT. And then you also have to take the fitness test with the requirements that I showed you on the previous slides, and you have to pass it. If you're a senior watching this video and you want to join the program, you will have the opportunity while you're in college to earn the in-college scholarship. And this is just for freshmen and sophomores in our program. So you will be competing your first semester to gain a scholarship your second semester because you have to establish a college GPA. And so that's going to be, you have to have a 3.0 or better GPA, and again, you have to go on your SAT and your ACT. And then this also, passing FA, which is your fitness test, goes into a factor of this and your commander's ranking. So you're going to want to participate as much as you can in all Air Force activities and stand out to the cadre and the commander. So you can only get this your freshman and sophomore years, and in your 3rd semester as a sophomore, they only look at your cumulative college GPA, your passing FA, and your commander's ranking. So when you get a scholarship, there's different levels on there. You can look them all up online. But one of the top scholarships offers to pay your full tuition and they all pay a monthly stipend of, it starts off at $300 for freshmen, and it goes all the way up to $500 a month for seniors. And then you will also get a $900 a year textbook allowance along with these scholarships. Now those numbers may change a little bit depending on what scholarship you get, but they're pretty close to being the same. So some career fields that you can go to in the Air Force. Your main ones that everybody usually wants is pilot, your combat system officer, your remote piloted aircraft, and your air battle manager. These are known as rated positions, and you'll have to compete in the program to get these positions, as they are tougher to get than all the other non-rated positions. Just a few to name off. We have developmental engineers, civil engineers, space and missile operations, special operations, aircraft maintenance, and then cyber warfare, security forces, logistics, weather intelligence, and there's like 100 more. So again, you can look all these up online too and see if they have a desired career field of your choosing. So benefits and commitment. Some benefits of our program is you get very broad life experiences. We teach you how to be a leader. We teach you how to be a follower, along with many other aspects. You are a leader from day one. You'll come into the program, we'll throw you in a leadership position, and we'll see how you do. And then from that point on, we'll teach you how to improve. You get very diverse training as every single semester our leadership in our cadet wing changes. So you'll have different leadership styles teaching you constantly throughout your years in college. And then you are guaranteed a job and an income coming straight out of college. If you're worried about looking for a job coming out of college right away, this is a great way to go. If you want to be a civil engineer, join ROTC, try to get a scholarship, get your school paid for, and then most likely the Air Force will put you as a civil engineer and you'll have a job and an income straight out of college. So your commitment going through the program is you have to give back 4 years if you're non-rated. That non-rated includes everything but like pilots. So you have to give back 6 years as a combat systems officer or a remote piloted aircraft pilot, and then you have to give back 10 years as a pilot. So it's just something to consider if you want to go rated, that you do have longer commitment times. So some Detachment 400 specifics. We do a lot of cool stuff up here because we have a great area in outdoors to explore up here. We are the only detachment in the nation that does cross-country skiing outside for PT. We hold field training exercises out in the woods in the fall and in the spring when there's still snow on the ground, as you can see down here. We play paintball, do some war gaming. It's really fun. We have incentive flights because just 2 hours away we have an old Air Force base in Marquette that closed down in 1995. And so they're able to bring in a bunch of different kinds of aircraft, as you can see down here. And we go up, we can refuel A-10s, F-16s. It's just a really cool experience to meet those pilots and interact with them. We do some base visits. We are one of the most remote detachments in the nation. So we have to travel quite a ways to go visit a base. One of the nearest bases to us is Grand Forks, North Dakota. And then the next nearest base to us is Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio. And so we've been traveling down to Wright-Pat for a few years now in a row just to show cadets what a real base looks like and to meet some of the officers in those career fields. We have a flight simulator, as you saw in my tour video earlier, in our CAO. This is a great experience to like jump in there and just see what it's like to fly an airplane. Along with our flight sim, we partner up with Civil Air Patrol most years at the Houghton County Airport. And you can go up and fly with Civil Air Patrol. They'll let you actually fly the airplane, and it's a great experience. That's how most of our cadets get hooked on being a pilot. And then we do many morale events, which are called MWRs. We go bowling, we go to the movies with each other, we have game nights, movie nights. We are a very close detachment as everybody knows everyone, and we all take care of each other. So in summary, I went over the requirements, the program summary, scholarships, the career fields that you can go into, your commitment to the program, and some specifics about our detachment. This video to the right here was from our incentive flight. I got to crawl back by the boom operator and watch as we refueled an F-16 over the lower peninsula of Michigan. It was a very cool experience. Okay, and then so for some contact information, if you have any questions about this video, any questions about the program, you can personally email me at lcstein@mtu.edu. I'll answer any of your questions. I can set up a phone conference with you. You can text me. We can set up a Zoom meeting with the commander or any of the cadre if you want to talk face to face. To sign up for next year, you can email rotcinfo@mtu.edu. This is linked directly to our recruiting officer, and you can ask questions through that also, and then you can just say that you want to join the program, and they will put you onto our walk-on list. There is no paperwork or anything to do right now. If you sign up, you just come to the university next fall, and we will be emailing you, letting you know what to bring and the paperwork that you need. If you're a junior, highly recommend before your graduating year that you hop on the airforcerotc.com website and you look at the application for the HSSP high school scholarship. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me.